Hey, welcome back. Oh boy, I've been waiting for this one. The one thing that I do love about a pre-order is that by the time it comes, it's kind of a surprise and like, you don't get the instant gratification. Let me do some of this off screen here. But man, it really is fun when they do finally arrive and kind of out of the blue, didn't expect it. It adds an element for sure. So this is the Winterblade Factor Batch 3. Did not expect this interesting boxing here. This is different than what we've seen in the past. Not sure what the reason is behind that, but got these double boxes and they're like taped up. Interesting. Let's see what's inside here. Let me be extra careful here and try and do this the right way. Sorry, I'm gonna take this one off screen just to see if there's any, gosh, this thing is hard to open up. Personal info in here. I think I have to go on the other side. Knife guy that can't open a box. Kind of ironic. Okay, there we go. That's the way. There it is. Factor Batch 3. Sweet. So I got two variants here. We'll just get into the first one so you can actually see a knife in the first 2 minutes of this freaking video. I've had quite a few factors over the years. I currently have one batch 1 and one batch 2, so I'm planning to keep one batch 3. Nice. And what's really cool about these is the first one where he's gone titanium on both sides in a factor format. Ooh, it's still got the ting. Nice. I wasn't sure if it would still have the ting or not. I did decide to go with the flipper tab. You could get these in like a fixed backspacer, which was interesting, that you couldn't get in the past. Pretty neat. Now this one's M390. Unfortunately, you could not get this build with the all gray titanium, just sort of this bead blasted build. You could not get that in MagnaCut. So I would have chosen the MagnaCut one, but I really wanted to check out this build. I kind of had a whole collection of this build going. That's changed since then, unfortunately, but that's one of the factors, no pun intended, of these drops coming much later. So also in the box here, you got your Winterblade towel. He always throws in some fun little extras like some stickers. And on this version, unlike batch 2, you don't have a bunch of extra magnets and stuff. I think he just went with the stronger detent magnet based off of feedback. But you also do get a Stonewashed blade. And I was trying to pick out what I wasn't recognizing here. This Stonewash is very nice. This thing is crazy sharp too. Just show you what I'm talking about here. Grab some paper. This thing just feels, it's Best Tech. They do a good job with their knives. This thing feels spectacular. Maybe I'm off on it, but no, it's very sharp. Not too crazy, not too crazy. So let's get into the next one. The next one's really exciting. Sorry that it's taking so long, but this one is definitely the one that, let's see, which side did I end up doing this on? It ended up being better to do it this way. This one is the one that I was most excited about and am expecting to keep if I keep only one, but we'll see. May have a change of heart. That thing looks beautiful, very simple and very nice. So let's see what we think. This one is the Damascus. Okay. Let's get this box over here, out of the way. Ooh, sweet. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. Now I'm very picky about Damascus patterns, and I'm going to be straight up with you. This is not my favorite Damascus pattern, but it is a factor in Damascus. This one's a little stickier. You got a little ting. was thinking maybe on this factor he might change the button to be more like the Severn, but I guess not. Good centering on this one. Definitely nice looking. But I don't know. I like the all black. That does look good. Which one will I keep? I kind of like this one, to be honest. Keep my boxes straight here. Sorry, I'm going to get these off off the screen. And then I'm going to bring over, for those of you that aren't familiar, here is a Gen 2. This particular one is Magna Cut. You can see the satin finish right away is quite a bit different. So there's a Gen 2. As a reminder, the Gen 2 had the carbon fiber over here. So I'm going to do a weigh-in a second. And then here's the Gen 1. Also M390 and also carbon fiber. So these are definitely a bit heavier because they have the titanium. So let's do a quick weigh-in. Kind of curious if this one will work its way in. It seems to already be a little better, but so those are 3.78 and 3.815. A little different there in the weight. Gen 1, 3.3 ounce. Gen 2, Magna Cut, 3.27 ounce. Interesting. So 1, 2, 3. The rest of this generally looks very similar. I believe you've got like the same thumb hole. Looks very similar here. Let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at the buttons and stuff. In fact, I'll try and throw on a little more light here and see if it helps. There we go. So buttons are similar. Backs are similar on the screw. If you remember, for those of you who didn't know, Gen 1 had a different pivot hardware. So it was kind of unique to the Gen 1. Similar on the flipper tab, but carbon fiber versus G10, I believe. Pretty similar on the pocket clip. Didn't do the, removable magnets. Oh, interesting. Look at the little white tab. I can't remember what that's made of. Plastic or whatever. This one's pointed. Let's see if both of them are like that, just out of curiosity. Yep, so these are pointed in there now, whereas both these generations were flat. This one had two of them. If you're not familiar, this one had magnets and braces on both sides. And Gen 2 had just a magnet and a brace on one side, but it was flat. Gen 3 has magnet and brace on one side, but the brace is sloped, which actually makes a lot of sense to me. Just in case it didn't go straight in, that would be a preferable way to do it. Plus it's less surface area touching the blade, which I think is ideal. It's unfortunate that this one's a little sticky on the action. Deploying's great, and if you whip it, it's fine, but it's not as drop shut as my other one. So check this out. That's crazy. That thing's pure drop shut. That one kind of sticks in there, so I don't know if it needs to be adjusted or what. They are in totally different, totally different orientation. So it could be that it's tighter. I believe I have a, I'll call it a tool, that'd be glorifying it, but I can use to mess with that a little bit and see if maybe that makes a difference. Let's see if it needs to be that tight. It's still tight. There, now I'm getting a little blade play. Interesting. This one just isn't as drop shot. You have to like give it a whip. What about these older ones? Drop shot. Drop shot. That's unfortunate. Not sure what's going on there. Interesting and worth noting, seeing the Damascus blade there is pretty cool. All the other ones you know have pretty plain blade sticking through there. The Damascus blade is pretty neat looking there. Definitely like the feel of the full tie in hand. It just feels substantial. I never really minded the feel of the materials so much on these, but I did notice that these are a little more hot spotty feeling. This one feels a little more rounded around the edges. Meh, it's probably pretty similar. Maybe I'm feeling what I want to feel or something, but generally they're pretty similar. It's a really interesting knife. It's obviously one that shook things up a lot. A lot of people really ranked it high due to the innovation. I personally think the thing that gets ignored the most on this, that's the most innovative, is this locking mechanism. I think is just one of the best out there. And people don't really talk about it a lot, but it's clicky-clacky, which is fun, but it's also very strong and very out of the way. Like, it's a great spot for it. It's very minimalist, and unlike the Axis lock, you don't have to pull it on both sides. Now, it'd be kind of nice if it was ambidextrous, but man, it just works really well. It's a great lock. And I think it's one of those things that gets ignored on this knife, or maybe not talked about as much as everything else with the magnets and the detent and stuff. Certainly there's a lot there and a lot to be said about those things, but the lock itself is really just fantastic, and one of my favorite things about this particular model for sure. So I don't know, that trio right there with the 3 different colors looks pretty good. I could see potentially letting this Damascus without the perfect action go. I'm gonna reach out to Brian. He's super helpful on this kind of stuff. He usually responds within 24 hours, if not sooner. So I'll just see if he has anything to say about that. But aside from that, that was a fun one. It's exciting to get a cool, innovative knife like this. And now, is it my end-all be-all, go sell all your non-magnetic knives? No, I don't think so. In fact, I don't even rank it in my top 10 knives ever made. Definitely wouldn't have called it my knife of the year last year. I understand that people that have been doing knife reviews for a long time love innovation, but I think you have to really improve on things. And although there's some things that are improved here, like the lock and, you know, some of the sounds and stuff, I do think there were, and I actually really like the thumb hole, by the way. I think it's very well designed and really easy. And I think the look of the knife is very cool. But I also think that there are some drawbacks on this. Not terribly ergonomic in the hand. It's just not my favorite all-around knife. I don't know what more to say than that, but I do think it's very good. It's in my top 30 knives, which says a lot. Like, handled a lot of great knives. So I do like the knife a lot. Obviously, I have a few, but I'm excited to see what Brian continues to do in the future and see what other innovations he brings to try and improve on things. He's got his own style, of course, and his own preference on how he does stuff, but you know, he listens to customers and he offers great support. I do think that this is going to be one of the great knife companies over the next 5 to 10 years. If he continues the pace of innovation that he's doing, it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of disruption he continues to bring to the knife community. So overall, really appreciate the opportunity to check these out. I paid for these, just to full disclosure, but be able to bring them to you all to check out as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you like the content, please feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.